Welcome everybody to the HSA podcast. We have with us a real life breathing varsity coach, still going, and we have a good history with each other, and we're going to get into that.
Yep.
But before we do that, this here is Craig Moore. I've known Craig for over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact of the day. I know that's why he's all gray. Putting up with me for a decade will do that to you.
Yeah.
It's that high energy. But real quick, I know a little bit about you, but I know you went to Rushville, and you have the record for most threes made in a season or a game.
I have no idea, honestly.
I know you hold a record there.
Something.
So it was, I believe it's the most threes made in a season.
Okay.
I believe that
Okay.
because when I went there, when we were at Morristown, we played.
Yeah.
Everyone pulled it aside and said, "Hey, that's Drake's dad right there.
Yeah.
He has the record. That's his name." I'm like, "Ooh, Craig Moore." And I know that you are the current acting varsity head coach at New Pal. Let's fill in the gaps. I mean, where did you play, grow up, and walk us through it?
Yeah, I played at Rushville High School, graduated in 1995, played for Jerry Craig and Kerry Brown.
You played for Kerry Brown.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Kerry Brown, fun fact, Kerry Brown has been, he was a teacher of mine at Milroy Elementary from first or second grade, and had him as a coach in junior high and high school.
That explains a lot.
He was an assistant.
In a good way.
At Rushville, yeah. He was an assistant at Rushville. And then, so I got into coaching shortly after my wife and I got married. We moved back to Greenfield from Chicago. And I've been coaching ever since at all different levels. So I've been a varsity assistant under Scott McClellan at Morristown. And then I was a varsity assistant under Sarah Gizzi at New Palestine. In between those years, I coached my kids, junior high level, both my son and daughter. So I've done a lot of coaching for a long time. So
Yeah.
I'm in my third year as a head varsity coach at New Pal.
Love it.
Yeah, love it.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely love it.
I'm in a position in life where I don't want to be a head coach.
No.
I like being the assistant. I like doing all the court work, and
Yeah.
when people come in and they're mad and the head coach is banging his head on the wall, I'm like, I don't have to do that.
Well, in my day job, I'm an assistant principal, and I love that assistant job.
Yeah.
I love being a head coach.
Do you see a correlation of where your job as a head coach, a varsity head coach, and the top administrator in a building going hand in hand? Like, you see a lot of correlations there, and how is that?
I see the correlation in how my job as an assistant principal prepared me to be a head basketball coach, and I think I've grown in my patience and understanding of kids through that job.
Yeah.
If I were thrown in to be a varsity basketball coach in my 20s, even early 30s, I think it would have been a lot different. But I feel like I was prepared through my day job as an assistant principal to be a better varsity basketball coach.
Do you feel yourself becoming softer as you become a coach? Like as years go on, I know, like for me, when I was in my 20s and I was doing development, I was in faces screaming, and now I'm 43. I'm like, I'm not raising my voice for this. Come on, guys, like let's do that.
I think there are softer. I don't know if I'm softer, but I'm definitely more understanding. And I think raising kids definitely plays a part in that, a huge part in that. You know, my son's 22 now, my daughter is 18, she's a senior, plays for me. And I definitely believe that raising kids, working with kids throughout the day for so many years, I think I'm in my 16th year maybe as an administrator, that all prepares you, I think. And you become just more patient and more understanding. There are hills to die on, and you become a lot pickier about those hills, for sure.
I've actually started using. I'm obsessed with using my voice the right way.
Yeah.
And I don't yell. I'm very calm. But then when I finally freak out, everyone's like, "Oh,
now he's mad."
Yeah, like now you hit it. But if you're always yelling, you're like, "Oh, he's just yelling again." So now I'm always cognizant of like. Use my voice, do it the right way.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna dig into some stuff right here. Okay, this is where we start we did the icebreaker. This is nice. This is where you're gonna start, where it gets heated. I'm gonna break out our text messages that we go back and forth on.
Okay. All right.
So Craig and I, we're basketball purists. Like I think you could say that we just want the game the right way.
Yeah.
And if it's a travel, it's a travel. We want universal rules across. And probably about once every other month, I get a text from you. There's some exchange of just a really bad move, a carry, a travel, what is it? The collection step.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Gather step. Yeah.
The gather step.
Yeah.
The gather step. And you'll see a coach be like, well, you could do this. And he's teaching it to a third grader.
Yeah.
Talk to me as a varsity head coach, because a lot of people don't understand your name is tied to that record for history. Like, and you know, you go back and you look at Craig Moore's record, that's your name on that record. It doesn't matter. I mean, it matters to kids under you, but like in Indiana, like that's a big deal. These AAU teams that are teaching all this and the trainers that teach all this, I mean, I tell people as a trainer, I'm still undefeated. Like, I haven't lost a game training because my name is not on the record. Right. Talk a little bit about that, like your expectations from a trainer, as a varsity head coach. You look at that like, I want this in my program, I don't want that in my program.
Well, I guess my thing as a head coach is you see this even working with our youth who are coming into our program at the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade levels, where kids don't have a basic understanding of lots of times, many do, but lots of times kids don't have a basic understanding of pivoting, a basic understanding of one thing that drives me nuts is over dribbling. And kids trying to create by just taking so many dribbles and not understanding how to use their feet, good footwork, what dribbles should do for you, those types of things. So, teaching the gather step and all the nonsense at such a young age, it drives me up a wall, especially when they come in and they can't run a basic offense. They don't understand what a dribble should do for them in an offense. How to create for themselves, how to get other kids open, their teammates open. So all of those things I would rather see taught rather than the nonsense of, the back step and, the gather step and all that stuff. So
Floaters off limits.
Yeah.
The one-handed stuff.
Yeah.
I die on the hill. We talked about dying on the hill. I will die on the hill every time if someone takes a little scoop.
Yeah.
Like I played a guy yesterday and he kept doing that on me, and as soon as he did, I pulled my hands up and just showed the ref like, not fouling him, not fouling him. There's no foul, and if he misses it, like I'm not taking a foul on that.
Yeah.
Because I know it's a low percentage shot.
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting because if you watch genuine NBA playoff basketball, like where it matters, how many one-handed stuff do you see?
True.
It's not a lot.
Yeah.
They'll do it during the preseason, they'll do it early season, but when it's a legacy on the line and there's millions on the line, we had a 3-on-3 tournament that you played in.
Yeah.
How many one-handed layups did you see?
Not many.
So,
yeah, and another thing I'd like to see kids be able to do is take contact, absorb contact, and finish.
Yeah.
And those are just things that we have to spend a lot of time in our program doing those things. But if they're going to a trainer, I'd like the trainer to be able to teach that. So when they come to us, then they're ready to go, and the money well spent for parents.
Yeah.
So yeah, just all those types of things become frustrating.
I use a thought process, and this is, I heard this back when I was first coming in coaching, and it's coming back now, of the orange juice in the water cup. If I have a cup here and I shake it, what comes out? Orange juice. If I shake it and water comes out, if I shake it, then water's going to come out if water's in it. So I try to explain to parents, like, whatever you put in, if you teach a kid a step back, if you teach a kid a one-handed layup, if you teach a kid to over dribble, when they get shaken, guess what they're going to do? They're going to resort back to that habit. But now, if you create a habit of staying poised, of like, I coached at the Dizzy Runs, and it was funny because it was an overtime. We were down by 3, overtime game, and one of the guys he plays for the Clippers G League team catches the ball and just does one of these, like just slow down, took one dribble, shot, won the game, and it was like that's what he was trained to do, And it's funny because you see all these trainers and they're teaching scramble moves.
Yeah.
And let me ask you this real quick: your relationship as a head coach with a trainer. What do you want that relationship to look like? What are your expectations from a training standpoint of like, do you want to be in touch with the player development coach? Do you want them to work on certain things? Like, where is your level of want to on that?
Well, I think that I think as a trainer, and you've done a good job of this, is and it might be because we've known each other for a while, but you've come to me and asked me, what do you want this kid to work on?
Mm-hmm.
You know, where do you see their deficiencies? You know, what would you like for me to work on when I'm with them on one-on-one? So I appreciate that. If it's a trainer I don't know, I'll probably not approach that. And I feel comfortable coming to you and saying, I want this kid to work on this because I know they come to you. If it's a trainer I don't know, I would appreciate them doing the same and coming to me and saying, you know, reaching out to me, email, text, whatever, and asking me, what do you think this kid needs to be working on? You know, what are your concepts that you work on in practice, and how can I help, you know, develop this kid for you? So that's, I don't think I would ever approach a trainer I don't know and have a relationship with, but I do appreciate them reaching out to me and asking. I've had that from others.
It's respected though.
It's respected, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It was interesting because there's a girl that I train that plays up on the north side, and I was watching their offense, and everything was ran through the elbow. Mm-hmm. So when I was training her in the middle of the season, I didn't do anything attack middle. Everything went baseline on the attack, because in my mind, again, going back to what you shake, if she freaks out and drives to the elbow, she just messed up the offense. Where I was like, yeah, and so for me, I would study the film as a trainer and say, okay, what does she need to do better, and then I would go from there. So that's awesome. If you had to be nitpicky, what's the one thing that you hate trainers working on? This is going to grow, by the way, for people listening at home. We started off at one thing.
One thing I hate trainers working on, I guess, and I've gotten on my son about this before too, and I don't think it's anything that you taught him, but I would really appreciate trainers limiting guard play in regards to dribbling, and just the dribble drives me nuts, because it just never ends well.
Yeah, it does. It doesn't.
It doesn't. My whole philosophy is, if you can't make a move in 3 dribbles or less, then give it up.
Yeah.
And I just see a lot of guards taking a lot of dribbles, and wasted dribbles drives me crazy. So that's one thing that I don't like seeing trainers work on with players.
There's a statistic, and this is something that drove me as a trainer. I don't know the exact number, but it's 96 or 97%. It's one of those. 96% of shots are taking off 3 dribbles or less. Mm-hmm. So when you work on that over dribble move, and you work on all the jabs and this and that, you're technically working on 3% of your game. Mm-hmm. You're only gonna need it.
Yeah.
And if you look at 3% of your game, that's once every 4 games.
Yeah.
You're gonna need that move. So why are you spending so much time on that when you could be catch jabbing and scoring under 3 dribbles?
Yeah.
So that's always my obsession when I'm a trainer, and the things I want to focus on.
Yeah.
Something else I try to focus on though is reaction time, where like a quicker pass, a smarter pass, a more developed pass.
Yeah.
So that's just me as a nutshell.
Yeah.
What are some other things that I guess as you look at basketball as a whole that you start to dig into? You're like, so I'll give you a personal example. The NBA Finals, watching SGA play and how he was rewarded for all these offensive fouls, the travels and everything, and especially as a Pacer fan, salty. I made a comment on Facebook where I was like, great, I got to go into work for the next 3 months and tell kids that's not a good move.
Yeah.
And how do you break that a player to tell, like, that's not a good move, that's not going to work?
Well, I think that you're just very consistent about pointing it out.
Yeah.
And you can't let things slide. And you know, your culture is what you let go. You just can't allow it. I mean, when you see it, you call it out. You don't have to be a jerk about it, but just let players know, pull them over to the side, be consistent, say, hey, we talked about this. Let's not do that again. You know, so just being very consistent about it, and correcting them. You know, show them what you want.
Yeah.
Just be very consistent throughout the team about what you want.
And you've gone through with Drake, your oldest. You've gone through with him through the program of middle school to high school to AAU. What separates an AAU good team from a high school good team? Like, if you took a top team in the state of Indiana, the high school team, and a top team in the state that's an AAU team, like, where's the separation? Like, where do you think the difference is on those?
Well, the talent level. I mean, you put an AAU team together, you're taking the best of, kids from different high school teams and
Yeah.
bring them together. So you're gonna. I think you learn to definitely play with different talent levels.
Yeah.
And I think that as a high school basketball player, you become a leader if you're one of the better players, you become a leader in how you play, how you interact with your teammates, and leading others who maybe are not as talented as you. At the AAU level, you're bringing all these really good players together, and you're learning to play with some high level talent. Maybe you're a leader on your high school team, but you're not a leader on your AAU team, and you're finding a different, how you fit.
Yeah.
So I think those are definitely differences, but it's a definitely different talent level. And then you go to college. We saw this with my son. You go from playing high school basketball to college, and everybody's good.
Yeah.
The athleticism is pretty crazy at all levels of college. So, and then you go from leading your high school team, you go into college, and now you're a freshman. Everybody's pretty good. And where do you fit? So you're finding all those things out at different levels. So it's pretty interesting.
I think there's just me. My thoughts on it is I think that if you just play AAU the entire time, you don't really give the high school much respect.
Yeah.
You kind of get that shell shock of being a freshman because you're never really the low man on the totem pole. You're
Sure.
You're always growing. I mean, how many times have you heard of a freshman playing against the seniors at AAU? It doesn't happen.
Right.
Everyone plays the same level.
Yeah.
But at the varsity level, you're a freshman. You got to step up to varsity.
Yeah.
And I think it's funny the parents that get all nitpicky about, well, he was playing a grade up. That's not fair. I'm like, well, you're going to play a varsity? Well, we want to play freshman as a varsity. Then you better play him 3 grades up.
Yeah, exactly.
And then,
for sure.
we want him to start as a freshman in college. Well, guess what? He better stay 3 years up his entire time, because if not, he's going to get rocked. And, it's not like a senior in college is going to be like, oh, I'll let the freshman bust me. Yeah. Like, no, it's a battle. It's going to be a battle.
It's very rare, I think, as a college student athlete to go in and start or have significant minutes as a freshman.
Yeah.
Especially in today's environment in college basketball.
And I don't think, and I'm not saying us as in you and me, I'm saying us as a generational thing. I don't think we're setting our kids up for that failure, because when they do experience it, if you experience it your freshman year in high school, and then you experience it your freshman year in college, you could always go back to that core memory of saying, okay, I remember that. But if you skip that step, and then you're 19 years old, and a lot of these kids, their identity is basketball, and how many mental health things going on where you just see players, I'm not a basketball player anymore.
Yeah.
I struggled with that.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not an athlete. I mean, I had a beer gut, but that's what I finally hit me like, ooh, this ain't. I think Stairs was kind of I'm not a student athlete.
Yeah.
And I think you're setting kids up for failure long term with that. But at least when you're a freshman, you can step back. In high school, you can be like, oh, I've been there before. I can handle that. So
yeah. I think specifically my son, he was on a pretty good high school basketball team.
I would say so. Well coached.
Yeah, well coached. But freshman, sophomore year, he definitely had limited minutes and played JV, and then when he got to college, he was prepared for that.
Yeah.
So that definitely plays a role in how you handle things later in life.
But I also think with Drake, something that made him special was he knew what he wanted, but he also knew what he didn't want. And when he got around what he didn't want, he was able to identify, this is what I didn't want.
Yeah.
And this is my things I'm not willing to settle for. I think it's interesting I was a college coach for 2 years, and the stories I have from coaching at the collegiate level in those 2 years are, like, I could do a whole podcast by myself just talking about all the bad things that happened at that level of the drugs and the alcohol and players and the stuff I had to mentor kids through.
Sure.
And so many kids, they're just so obsessed with playing at college that they're not prepared, because I mean, how many of these AAU tournaments are parents still tying shoes?
Sure.
Like, I mean, think about it. Like, I don't know how. I'm probably sure this isn't your program, but how many times are you having to wean a bad habit from a student or a player at your facility?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I've seen it. I've seen it for sure.
And you get calls from mom or dad.
Yeah.
Why didn't my daughter take that corner three?
Right.
Like, she's over 28 this season. Like, why?
She's open for a reason.
Yeah, one of those. Like, it's open for a reason. What do you wish that? What is something that you wish your kids, your players, would do a little bit more of behind your back?
You mean basketball wise?
Yeah.
Shooting and ball handling.
Shooting ball handling.
Yeah.
They don't do that enough.
We do a lot. We do a lot of shooting.
Yeah.
In practice. But you know, I constantly say you don't get better in practice.
Yeah.
Individually.
Yeah.
You know, that has to take place before practice, after practice, on the weekends. You know, on your own time. But my first year coaching, I figured out pretty quickly that we weren't a great shooting team. We never became a great shooting team. We became a better shooting team because I dedicated a certain practice once a week to just shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we did. We didn't run offenses. We didn't run sets. We didn't do shell drill, which is odd for us.
Yeah.
We did straight shooting for an hour and a half. And that really, you could really tell a difference between the first half of the season and the second half of the season. Then we made a run in the sectional and had a good season. But I really say that is because we dedicated time to shooting in practice.
I read something yesterday, and it kind of stuck with me, and I'm still trying to process it. But like, kids are getting busy, but they're not getting better.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so, we're scrambling to all these AU tournaments.
Yeah.
And then going back to what you said, if you play in an AU tournament, so let's say you play a game on Friday, 2 games on Saturday, and a game, maybe 2 games on Sunday. Let's just say 5 games, Friday through Sunday. How many shots have they taken that weekend?
Exactly.
I mean, if you look at it, if you're probably a high-level shooter, if you're the very best shooter, you're probably taking 7 shots per game.
Yeah.
So you take 7 times 5 is 35.
Yeah.
I'm a PE teacher for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm looking at you.
That's pretty
to
good.
double
That's
check.
pretty good math.
Got it. But if you look at 35 shots from Thursday to Sunday, and then you got somebody coming in and locking in at the school that, you know, they pulled a Dr. Dish, you're going to get better. Even if they shoot 500, and then 200, you're looking at 1,000 shots that then this person took 37.
Yeah.
35, my bad. Yeah. So, I mean, you could see the difference in consistency. Like, oh, well, we went to Topeka and we played 5 games, but like, you're busy, but are you better?
Yeah. No, that drives me nuts, the amount of games and the amount of travel to play those games. Another thing I wish our players would do more of, and I think this is just high school kids in general, is just play more. Play more basketball. Watch more basketball. I tell our youth kids all the time in our summer camp and our skills camps that we have, as we're getting ready to break for the day, is I tell them, go watch some basketball. Just sit down, pick a team. I don't care who it is. Follow that team for the season. Make sure you put it on your calendar. You know, the Fever are playing tonight. I'm going to watch them.
And just study.
Just study it, watch it, and just go play more. You know, it's this is an old man talking, but going to the park and playing basketball, pickup basketball, was my absolute. You know, that's what I absolutely loved of my youth, is getting with 4 or 5 friends, and we'd go to the park and play, and if you lost, you sat. And there was no hey, this team's won too much, so they're going to come off. No. They're playing all night. If they keep winning, they're playing all night, and if you want to play, you got to beat them. So those are things that I wish they would do more of, is just play the game.
And not referee play the game, not coach play the game, but just go figure it out yourself.
Just go. You call your own fouls. There's no referee. Just go play.
One of the best things, one of my best friends in college, one thing we would do is we would play without a score. We got to a point where we played without a score. And what we figured out eventually was, for me, I have 3 moves I'm going to go to when it comes game time. Like if it's 20-20, I got to put up a bucket. I'm going to go to my faithful. And what we stopped doing is we started taking, and again, we were very competitive, but like we'd probably do this once a week. We would play and just not keep score because it was more, it would invite me to try something new I haven't done. And if I lost the ball, it wasn't I lost the game.
Right.
And I just don't think that kids are, again, going back to what you're saying, but also on the flip side, how many old man beatings did you take as a little kid?
I can't tell you. Well, I've got a scar in my ear, 2 scars on my face from older guys who, just fouled me hard.
Yeah.
And these were ER visits with stitches, and those are great memories, though. I absolutely loved doing that, and I'd be back at the park the next day. So, playing against older guys, and they didn't have to be high school all-stars or even college players, but they loved the game. They played hard. My forearms are still hurting from Kerry Brown swiping me across the arm, playing against him in high school. And
was he a baller?
Oh yeah, he's a baller. Yeah, he was a rough one too.
I could see it.
But yeah, great memories. Just play more, watch more, learn to be a playmaker. Not only create for yourself, but get your teammates open.
Knowing how to pass.
Knowing how to pass, when to pass. Those are all, and the one thing that we work on a lot in practice is 2 hard dribbles, 2-foot jump stops, kicks, and knowing when to do that, being under control. It's just it's not a difficult game.
No. Some of the, and I sent this to you. I know I sent you these things where I sent this, and this is a true clip. I saw this guy 8 different ways to pick up the ball, and it was to pick it up this way, pick it up this way. I'm like, you can't process all that. Like I got one pickup, and I got my strong pickup, and I got a high pickup. All 6 more I don't need. Like, focus on the 2 that you need.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because over the summer I did this. Over the summer, there's not a shameless plug for our summer program, but maybe if you're listening, every Friday I call it Show It Off Friday, where we play every Friday, and on the main court we have as big a game as possible, 5-on-5 with a sub, and then on the side court we open it up and we play 3-on-3, 2-on-2, and then we have a 1-on-1 gauntlet. And there was one time I had them play 1-on-1, but I had a line, and I had this huge line. I could have made it 3-on-3, but I decided, nope, we're going to go 1 line. And so one kid was dominating, and I go to the end of the line, and I was like, hey, what do you guys think about this drill? I'm bored. Why are you bored? Well, because I keep losing. I keep going to the end of the line. And I was like, yeah, that's by design. I did that. I want you to be at the end of the line. I want you to feel that pinch of like, oh, man, like I got to wait and watch other people play. And I loved it. The kids... the kid that was scoring the most, he loved it, but everybody else was mad.
Yeah.
And so I got to the point like, well, you realize if you don't get scored on, you get to stay here. That doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
So it's just fun stuff that I like doing.
Yeah, and that's one thing I enjoy about coaching is learning things like that in different drills and keeping things competitive.
Yes.
I've learned over time that the more competitive you can make your practices, the better off you are. One thing I do need to get better about, there are a lot of things, but one thing specifically I keep thinking about is creating situations in practice, especially for our guards to handle pressure. So that's, you asked me one thing that trainers can work with kids on. Man, not only being able to handle the basketball by doing, 2-ball ball handling and things, but working against pressure and being confident with that. Because you'll have teams at times where just applying a little bit of pressure, full court, 3/4 court, half court traps, you lose the basketball in seconds.
Yeah.
And your 10-point lead suddenly went to -15. It's not a good feeling. It's a helpless feeling because you can't help a kid in that moment. So being able to work against pressure and be confident with the basketball is huge.
It does make sense. It does make sense. And again, going back to whatever's inside you, when you get that pressure, that's what's coming out.
It's what's coming out for sure.
You got a bunch of dancing moves.
You can be the greatest Pistol Pete, ball handling, player on earth, standing there with the basketball and handling the, dribble around your right leg, dribble around your left leg, two ball, whatever. And that's all great, having a feel for the ball. But man, if you cannot handle the pressure that's being applied to you, it's not a good time.
Well, it's equivalent of being a great simulator, like on the flight.
Yeah,
on the video game,
right.
Like, oh man, I could play flight simulator. I can land this plane, and then you get.
Yeah.
Have you ever done a real one?
Yeah.
Nah, we don't do that.
Yeah,
it's like you give yourself that false sense of confidence.
Yeah. So creating situations in practice, going back to what I was saying, those are things I want to get better about. Is helping my guards become more confident, more comfortable with when to dribble, when to pass, handling the pressure. And physical strength does have something to do with that too. So I am blessed, and at New Pal, our girls they work hard in the weight room and spend a lot of time in weightlifting class, and got a great weight program. So
I was gonna say, you guys got a nice weight room over
yeah,
there.
I got some strong girls. So
I'm jealous. My weight room was so small in high school. I see
Yeah,
the
so was
stuff.
ours.
You walk by now, you're like, man, that was a collegiate weight room right there we got now.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this real quick. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You are the commissioner of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
This could be the pros. Any rule you say has to go for American basketball.
Mm-hmm.
What rule you're making up and why?
I am. We already talked about this a little bit, but I'm limiting the amount of games kids play.
You limit games?
Limit games. I would limit the amount of travel that families have to do to play in those games. And one thing that has always driven me nuts living in the state of Indiana is families having to travel to wherever, Texas, Florida, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, to play teams from those states when the greatest basketball is in Indiana.
It really is.
Bar none.
It is.
It is. I mean, you could call any AAU team in any other state and invite them to Indianapolis, Indiana, to play a weekend of games, and they're going to bite on it.
I got two stories for you about that. Some girls that I was like, oh my gosh, you guys went to Pennsylvania this weekend. How was it? Like, They go, we played an Indiana team that we played 6 times this summer already.
Yeah.
We just did it in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And we ended up winning, and we played another team that we played 3 times from Indiana.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you just took Indiana, like, and it was kind of like I was joking about it, but like there was a little tinge of sarcasm, like, you wish you would have just stayed here and trained, huh?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah. That's awesome, man. Well, Craig, I really do appreciate your time, man. Thank you for coming in.
Yep.
You did
Thank
awesome.
You. Thank you.
Hey, hopefully, if you're listening, you made it this far. Hopefully, you heard something that you liked. Share, subscribe. Make sure you share this with a friend. And we're going to have more amazing guests like this. And we're just looking to give back and serve to parents.
Yeah.
Hopefully, he did say a lot of stuff that you should have been taking notes on. And again, this is a varsity head coach. It's not some middle school coach. Like, you heard straight from the heart what he's looking for. So check us out.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, man.